Are you thinking about moving to Centennial, Colorado? Stay tuned. If you haven't been to our channel before, we talk about everything there is to know about living, eating, sleeping, and having fun in the Denver metro area. Make sure you take a moment, smash that like button, leave a comment below so we can make you other videos you're interested in, and hit the subscribe button so you get notified on all our new videos. Also, we get lots of calls and texts and emails about people moving here, and we love helping people find out what area is best for them. So make sure you reach out to us, give us a call, a text, we'd be happy to help you out. Okay, we're gonna talk about the pros and cons of living in Centennial, Colorado. And our first pro we're gonna talk about are the school districts. No matter where you live in Centennial, it's kind of got this funky shape, which we're gonna talk about a little bit. So there's actually a fun fact about Centennial is that it used to be, parts of it used to be Littleton, and then they annexed it and it all became Centennial. So Centennial goes really far west and then goes pretty far east.
Yeah.
And you said like you didn't, because you're new, like to moving here.
I'm not from here. I've been here for 10 years, and so I don't really have the history like Jen does. But when I was doing the research on it, it's definitely elongated and follows some roads, and so it can be very confusing. And a lot of people misunderstand, you know, when this city blends with the other neighboring cities.
Yeah, and it's got chunks that kind of go up against Aurora, that it's not all pieced together. It kind of goes in chunks. So you just kind of have to be aware of that when you're looking for homes in Centennial. You could really be looking in different areas. So back to the school districts, one of the reasons I mentioned that is because of the two different school districts. It's really going to depend on where you live. And so you've got the Littleton School District, which is further west, which is where my kiddos go to school. And then you've got the east side, where it's mostly Cherry Creek, and you're gonna have probably mostly bigger schools when you're talking about Cherry Creek, because they have like one of the biggest high schools in the state. It's humongous. They call it a campus. Just something to consider whether you want that or you don't want that. The other thing to consider is if you are, you know, either single or you're married and don't have kids, you still might want to consider the whole school district thing, because it really helps you with resale value. I mean, people, you never know who's going to be buying your house, and they might have kiddos and they might really want to live in a good school district. So it's always good to look at school districts even if you don't have kids. So I just like to keep that in mind for people that might not even have that in their mind, because I know the first house I bought wasn't even in my head, and then I was like, oh, I have kids now and we're in a terrible school district. So just keep that in mind.
The other day I was driving down Arapahoe Road and I saw this huge sign that said Centennial had the lowest crime rate.
It was like a road sign, or
it was like an electric billboard of some sort.
Oh, okay.
So I mean, I was driving on the Arapahoe, so you got to pay attention.
Yeah.
But
they were promoting it.
They were promoting it as one of the safest.
How far on Arapahoe were you?
On the east side, I would say east of I-25 by at least 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So I'm terrible with figuring the cross streets.
Yeah.
They were promoting Centennial, which is really awesome.
So the one con about Centennial could potentially be the traffic, because you're kind of right in the center, and you're also, you don't have any direct lines to the light rail access. I mean, you could drive, to I-25 area to get to a light rail station, but there's nothing here in the central kind of town of Centennial, which I kind of consider where we're standing, the central hub of Centennial. But you've got that whole Arapahoe Road corridor to kind of get through Centennial no matter where you are. So that can get kind of congested during rush hour and getting to the tech center and that kind of thing right there around that I-25 corridor. So that could be one pro or one con.
Yeah. Well, so the natives, and we'll go over who they are, certainly like to complain about the traffic, but me being a transplant, someone who has moved from an outside state to Colorado, especially an area with a big city, I am used to traffic. So driving somewhere to get to work, as an example, an hour-and-a-half commute is nothing when I look at a 30-minute drive. Here, I just don't see what you guys are complaining about. So I would say depending on where you're coming from, the traffic might not be an issue. Really, it's really not that bad. And this is coming from someone who's a transplant from a major city.
Yeah.
So agree to disagree.
Yeah.
On that,
But
whether it's a con or not.
Do you want me to explain natives or?
Well, okay, so just so you guys know, there is this banter going on between natives, who are people who are originally from Colorado, born and raised, and us transplants, people who have moved from out of state to here.
I still love you.
Yeah. Okay. Good. So it's a conversation that comes up typically in a lighthearted way. And you even see bumper stickers with people promoting that they're natives.
Yeah, I have one, but I couldn't. I just couldn't bring myself to put it on there. It just felt kind of, yeah, it felt kind of funny. And then my husband, he's been here since he was in high school, but I like to tease him like, you're not truly a native because you weren't born here. So it's just kind of a fun thing.
Yeah.
So just good to know if you're coming here.
Yes, and on another note, we are very proud of our state here. So you will see lots of
Colorado flags and stickers.
Lots of paraphernalia supporting and showing the Colorado flag. So you better get on board as soon as you move here if you are coming from out of state, because we are Colorado proud.
And sports proud too. Everybody loves their sports here. So
oh yeah, for sure.
We can go into that on a whole nother video, how proud we are about our sports. So. The other thing that can make that whole, not to banter on the traffic again, but the other thing that can make that traffic kind of bad is there's a lot of like car dealerships and a lot of stores all on that Arapahoe Road area. So I mean, that could be good too, but there's a lot of stuff there, but it does kind of make the congestion a little bit more in that area. Another pro is that you actually have an airport in Centennial. I mean, if you want to learn to fly, I guess that's a really good thing. It's close by. And then also, if you have an airplane, I guess that's a good thing.
Right. Well, also just being a regional airport, there is a lot of distribution hubs right around there. So it's a lot of job opportunities immediately around that area. And then also you were talking about there's actually a really awesome restaurant.
Yeah, it's called The Perfect Landing, and you can I used to work over there, so we would go over there whenever somebody had a birthday or something, and we would go there and you can actually watch the planes land and have lunch, and it's pretty cool. So
it's pretty
check
unique.
that out. It's a fun thing to do if you live in Centennial. Another con is that, even though you're pretty central to the south areas, you're pretty far away from anything north. So if you got to go past downtown Denver and make your way all the way up north, it's going to be quite a drive. It'll probably take you more than an hour in traffic, at least an hour without traffic, or 45 minutes. So if you got to go north, like you say you're going to Boulder or something and you're doing that on a regular basis, I wouldn't recommend Centennial for you, honestly, but it really just depends on where you're going to work. I mean, if you're working in the DTC, which is another pro, the DTC is the Denver Tech Center, and there's lots of businesses there located there, lots of shops and restaurants. Yeah, lots of things to do there, but it is kind of a central kind of commerce area. I mean,
right.
Your office is there, right?
Yep, my office is there. It's kind of like just a whole bunch of business office buildings, and then a whole bunch of restaurants splattered in between, right there.
And there are some homes over there, which is a different area, Inglewood, which is confusing. I'll go into that on another video. The other pro is where we are right now. So we're in the middle of South Glen at this outdoor shopping area, and
we've got some good 80s music jamming in the background.
There's music playing, and when we first started, there was a fire over there. I think they just turned it off, but there's a little fireplace and a coffee shop over there, and there's a movie theater and also the library and lots of shops.
Yeah, and there's even a Whole Foods right around here.
Gives you an idea of what's here in this central South Glen area. And also just, it's just a nice place to come that's central, and they do lots of things here. You ever been here for?
No, but you were telling me about how they will sometimes have sort of activities laid out.
Yeah, so like actually where we're standing, I've been to a concert here. They have little concerts here in the summer, and they also brought my daughter here for a birthday party. They had Chalk Festival, so we walked around and saw the Chalk Festival and then went home and did, birthday party stuff. But just
cool.
fun stuff like that. And then actually also where we're standing, this is actually an ice skating rink in the winter, so that should be happening here soon. So they make this into an ice skating rink, and then there's this hot chocolate in the fireplace over here, so it's really, really cool place to hang out. Another pro about this immediate area in the South Glen area is that you're going to look and find homes around this area that are actually a little bit older. They're going to have much bigger lots. So if that's what you're looking for, you like the big yard, that's what I like. I like the big yard because that's where I like to be outside all the time. I think I've mentioned that 100 times in my videos, but I love the outdoors. So that's important to me. If you go further east, you're probably going to get some of the newer stuff that has, smaller yards, bigger houses. So it's really up to you. But even some of the houses here are actually pretty big. They just might need, either they've been remodeled and they'll be a little bit more expensive, or you're going to have to do some remodeling if you like that open concept. But I heard at some point that some people were thinking, like the 60s style is going to come back with little rooms and stuff, with everybody doing their Zoom videos with COVID. But I don't know if that's true or not. But yeah, so the bigger lots is a good thing if that's what you're looking for. Yeah. So, like I said, there's those areas with the bigger lots, but there's also the stuff that's out a little bit further east, or just on the other side, even on the other side of University, where you get into some newer neighborhoods, kind of like Fox Ridge or Homestead. Those houses are still going to be not brand new, but they're going to be a little newer than maybe this immediate area that's right around South Glen. And the other thing about either advantage or disadvantage for you is that the smaller or the older areas are probably not going to have HOAs, whereas some of those other neighborhoods I talked about probably will have HOAs. And the further east you go, the newer the homes are going to get, because again, like I said in one of my other videos, I think I was talking about Thornton and North Glen, all the stuff that's around that E470 or C470 corridor is where you're going to find a lot of the new builds.
Right.
Isn't that where, Sarah used to work with new builds all the time, so yeah, that's where a lot of them are, in that C470 corridor. So anything out over that way is going to be a newer home. So those are the pros and cons of living in Centennial, Colorado overall. We're going to do a vlog tour of just the South Glen area, so check that out. And as always, we love helping people out, so don't feel bad about reaching out. We'd love to help you out. Ask any questions, and we're always here to help.